Rob asked about it, and then suddenly I started getting the sense that, well, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that loves Batman. Apparently Rob loves Batman.
Bruce Wayne. Matt Reeves' The Batman is a murder mystery in which a lonely, angry and traumatized Bruce Wayne / Batman is trying to find a purpose in Gotham City. Vengeance is his chosen emotion, right? I'm going to tell you what I think about this film. We're also going to hear more from the director, Matt Reeves. But first, I just want to remind you guys, this is Flip Your Wig, a place that I share reviews, interviews, recommendations. Welcome to all the new subscribers. It's so nice to have you part of the community. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a video.
The Riddler is asking for you.
The killer left this for the Batman. Why is he writing to you?
You came. I've been trying to reach you.
In this story of the Batman, he has teamed up with Jim Gordon, played by the awesome Jeffrey Wright, to find the Riddler, played by Paul Dano. It's inspired by the Zodiac serial killer who leaves a riddle for Batman at each murder scene. And of course, we'll have you thinking of David Fincher, because there's definitely inspiration there. To take on such a big movie with so much history, the director and co-writer Matt Reeves was slightly terrified.
I don't think there's any way you can make a Batman movie without approaching it with at least a pretty healthy dose of terror. Because the thing is, first of all, I mean, I've loved the character since I was a kid, like Adam West, 1966. 66 is the year I was born. So like, I was obsessed with Batman almost from birth. You know, I love Batman. And then, you know, as someone who loves the cinema, I feel like there have been a lot of great Batman movies. So to approach it and feel like, okay, this is exciting because I'm getting to do the character, that part is very exciting. But then you know that the bar is very high, and you know that that's true for the fans as well because the character is so beloved. So it's vaguely terrifying.
Robert Pattinson plays this version of the Dark Knight. He's a man full of rage, confusion, revenge, while also trying to fight against the privilege he has been born into by doing some good. This is interesting to watch, and we don't see Rob as Bruce without the mask for a whole hour into the movie. It's subtle, eerie, and feels a little incomplete in part. Perhaps, though, that was deliberate for Matt to be able to continue this story over 2 more movies. I also think it's important to note, whether it was Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, George Clooney, or even Michael Keaton, there is always debate and cynics around the chosen actor who will play this loved character, always criticised till that person delivers. So the fact that Robert Pattinson got trolled about it online doesn't surprise me one little bit, and he does deliver. He makes a great Batman.
Well, you know, I was obsessed with the idea that it would be Rob, and at a certain point I felt, oh my God, I hope this isn't folly. I hope I'm not writing a role for an actor who has no interest in playing it. And given all of the really interesting independent films he'd been doing, I had no idea if he'd want to play Batman. But what was interesting was then my producer, Dylan Clark, had a general meeting with him, and at the general meeting, Rob asked about it. And then suddenly I started getting the sense that, well, wait a minute, I'm not the only one that loves Batman. Apparently Rob loves Batman. And so it was fated, I guess. We met in the middle because he was like, well, I know you're doing Batman. I love Batman. I was like, I love Batman. And we really connected, and it was a great experience making the movie with him. He's a wonderful actor. He's amazing.
This film isn't perfect, but I don't think it needs to be, guys. It holds your attention and doesn't drag at any point that you think, why couldn't it have been just a little bit shorter? Yet there is a lot to take in, and other characters being introduced all the time, including Falcone, played by the awesome John Turturro, Penguin, played by Colin Farrell, who has a spin-off series coming as well later in the year, and the captivating scene stealer Zoe Kravitz as Selina, who's much like Bruce going through her initial journey into becoming Catwoman. Lots of side plots and visual moments to have enough time to truly enjoy this film.
Well, you know, I mean, one of the things I wanted to do is I felt it was important to make sure that this was distinctive and different. I wanted to give the audience everything that they, of course, are expecting from a Batman film. You need to have the spectacle, and you need to have the Batmobile chase, but I really wanted to lean into the world's greatest detective side that I felt had not been done in the movies, at least not in terms of it being the main plot of the story. So he's really a detective, and he's on the trail of this case, and being a detective in a cowl and cape is an unusual way to do detective work, and so that part of it was challenging, was to find the way to make that seem kind of real. And what's so exciting about that idea of doing that sort of tone is that it allows you to do some things that take the movies into other tones too, because there's a bit of the story, you know, there's a serial killer story, so it's very suspenseful, there's kind of a thriller aspect, and there's actually, to a degree, a level of horror. So all of that gives the movie a lot of sort of tonal depth, which is very exciting.
I do wonder if Rob will want to do 2 more films, however, as he has shied away from fame and celebrity culture since the phenomenal success of Twilight, which is now almost a guilty pleasure. The fact he spent most of his career in the indie world kind of shows you that this guy doesn't want to be in the big mainstream blockbuster world. I know he did Tenet recently, but aside from that, The Batman is the first movie that has him back out here with the whole world looking at what he's doing. It'll be interesting to see what he does. The Batman is out right now. Have you watched it? What did you think? Leave it in the comment section. I'm intrigued to find out your thoughts.
I mean, I hope that they're going to have an exciting, thrilling, emotional, scary experience with Batman. You know, see something that feels like the character that they've loved, you know, for all these years, but in a way that you've never seen it. And that, to me, that's the biggest takeaway that I hope people have coming to the movie.
Whoa! This guy's crazy!